It's iPhone day today, and the 15 and the 15 Pro were announced. Dave and Shayne Mostyn and I get together and we talk about what we like, what we don't like, and what we think of these phones. All this coming up. It is Tuesday, September 12th, and the iPhone event just happened this afternoon. I am online here with my good friend Dave Podner. Hello, David.
Hey, Greg. We're here with
And
Rapid Reply.
yes, and joining us is all the way from Kuna, Australia, Mr. Shayne Mostyn. G'day, mate.
G'day, boys. How we doing?
Morning, Shane.
Well, we're doing. Dave had to work today during the event, but he managed to somehow get all the information in his brain that he needed, so that's good.
Yep.
And
Good.
and you had to get up like really early.
I woke up this morning at 2:30, so I was reasonably awake for 3 o'clock when it started.
Well, that's not too bad. That's not too much
Eh,
earlier than you normally get up, is it?
No, I'm up stupid hours of the morning taking photos anyway, mate. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, so they um I wasn't going to go too much aside from photography related stuff on this, but I got to say I was completely annoyed with all the environmental stuff they talked about it on this keynote. I think they took up way too much time doing that. I mean, it's a good thing, don't get me wrong, don't send the hate email. But everybody was there to see and hear stuff about the Apple Watch and the iPhone. And I mean, yes, we saw those things, but I just think they put way too much emphasis on the environment and all that stuff. I mean, we know they want to be carbon zero or whatever it is by
mhm.
2030, and
It's a differentiator, too. Remember, this is going for the general public, not just for photography. And a
oh, I know,
huge
but
differentiator is being carbon zero versus, you know, this
I
other
don't think
camera.
with the 90/90 rule that Apple applies to pretty much everything, I think it's only 10% of the people that really care that much about the environment stuff to want to have it that deeply embedded into the keynote. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm grumpy because I know I got to go to work in a little bit. I don't, I don't know, but anyway, I mean, it is what it is. But so iPhone 15, when I'm watching this, there was a few things that stood out. Obviously, there's a slightly different design with the rounded edges. The buttons, they've made the mute switch just a button where you can actually have it do different things. So that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Everybody knew Dynamic Island was coming to them all, and I think it was a pretty much given that the 48 megapixel sensor was going to be in all the iPhones too. I thought I had heard somewhere that it was going to be all cameras, but maybe that's next year.
I thought they were going to try that with the Pro. I really thought they were going to try that with the Pro, but
Yeah.
it's possible that with the zoom, even the 3x zoom on the Pro non-max, you can't get the zoom and the size of the sensor and the light with the size they need to put it in the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Physics. It's one
yeah,
of those physics limitations.
right. Um, what were your thoughts on the 15 non-pro, Shane?
Look, I thought it's basically the same as the 14 Pro. But
Yeah.
actually, it's probably even a little bit less from the 14 Pro. The 14 Pro, you have the three cameras at least.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
missed the zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was a little bit underwhelmed by it. I thought it was a lot of fanfare when you rip down the meat and potatoes, as you say. It's really bugger all difference between the
Hmm.
14 Pro and the 15 base model.
Well,
It's
you know what though? I think that is a bigger deal. Well, let's put it this way: for your you're quote either high end or people in really into photography, that's not a big that for us it wouldn't be a big deal. But
Yep.
for your average person who's just it's going to make a difference on their phone on their on the pictures they're going to get, because you get your average person who's not going to go for the pro model because it is $200 to $300 US cheaper.
Well, the one
The
thing
fact
From
like
the
the one
15
thing
to the
that's going to
14, you mean?
really
well, I meant from the pro to the non-pro level.
Oh,
So
just before
basically,
we sorry, go on.
oh, no, go ahead, Shayne.
Before we joined up here, I was looking for the price on Apple website for the 14 Pro, and it's no longer there. It's just the 15 and the 14 Pro.
Yeah.
Sorry, the 14
Mhm.
was it the 15 and the 15 Pro and the
they
14.
show the 14, yeah, not the 14
Yeah,
Pro.
Yeah.
yeah. And I was thinking, well, if you could buy either one, like they're basically the same for the average user. They're basically the same phone. But if you had the option to get one that had the extra camera, well, even if you're not a photographer like the space that we play in, surely you would want that extra option there for basically the same money. I don't know. I think
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't be the same money though. The 14
it's
Pro,
not.
well, let's say the 14 Pro
Mhm.
started at $999 for the
Yep.
non-max version. The
Yep.
straight iPhone, so the 15 non-pro starts at $799 US.
Oh, I see. See, it's no
So
longer on
it's
the
200.
website here that I can see.
Well, I just know the prices on the 15 Pro prices. The only change is that for the Max, they're no longer offering the 128,
Yep.
but the price for the 256 15 Pro Max is the same price as the 14 Pro Max 256
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did
right.
say that.
US.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah.
so they basically kept the price the same. So in other words, what you were paying yesterday for the 14 Pro model, you're getting pretty much the same thing for $200 cheaper, except for the zoom. The zoom's the one thing that you're
Yep.
missing.
That's not the same thing then, is what
Well,
I'm getting at.
right.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's substantially cheaper. And
Sure.
depending if you can get a deal through your carrier,
Mhm.
it could make a big difference for some people too.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the 15 non-pro does have that 2 times zoom factor that they are capable of doing now with the
Yeah.
larger sensor, and it gives a 24 megapixel image.
Mhm.
And so that, yes, that is pretty cool for that
Yeah.
phone. And I mean, it when you start looking at the Pro, I mean that functionality just actually goes even further, because you've got there's like 7 different focal lengths that you can get with the Pro just because
Well,
of that
it's
functionality.
yeah, you can get the way it worked out. They said 7 different cameras. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're talking the front camera as one, the ultra wide is 2, the two different the zoom would be 3, and you can do 3 different focal lengths on the 1x, and then you have the main camera which you can do a 2x in.
I didn't take it that way. I took
So I
it.
took it
have-
as 7. I took it
Well,
that
here's
way
what
as
you have.
7.
Here's what you have. You have the 0.5 times ultra wide macro.
Mhm.
Then you've got the 0.5 ultra wide 13 millimeter. And then on the main camera, you've got 24, 28, 35. So yeah, 24, 28, and 35 millimeter. And then on the telephoto, you've got 48, the 2 times telephoto, they call it on their website. And then on the big one, you've got the 5 times telephoto, which is like 120 millimeter.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, the pictures they show on their website are absolutely stunning.
Mm.
Any that are taken, like say an interior shot or a night shot or whatever. I mean, Apple, they're going to have the lighting system set up and everything else to make these images look fantastic. I wish they would just put them out in the streets and say, here, go take a picture with this
Yeah.
and bring it back to us, and then show what the average user is going to do, not what the $3 trillion company is going to do with us with a big setup. But I must say, I'm looking at the macro shot, and it's looking to me like the macro is going to be a little better this time around on the Pro.
Mm.
Like it looks like it's got better, uh, better depth of field, better bokeh in the background, that type of thing. Now that being said, the image is it's a picture of a bee on a flower, like a wildflower out in a field, with nothing directly behind it. And this is something I talk about when it comes to the macro in the iPhone compared to using a lens, an add-on lens, is that it doesn't really separate the subject from the background very well. In this particular shot, yeah, but again, nothing is directly behind the subject. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out in the long run here. But
that's fairly typical of what Apple does with their launch. Remember the cinematic video mode?
Yeah.
That was on the launch. That was just incredible what you saw on the launch.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going out and shooting a video on it. It was like, this is not polished as well as I thought it really should be. In the real world, you put it in someone's hands and you go, let's see if we can do this. And it didn't look good at all.
Yeah.
But it gets better. Like it got better. But I absolutely agree with what you're saying there. Like that macro shot of the bee on that purple flower, that is something that you could potentially do right now with the 14 easily, because there's nothing behind it there. There's nothing there for it to confuse that computational photography for the macro. There's nothing there to really push it. I don't think. Looking at the other ones there, that when they had the 7 quote unquote focal lengths, that 120 millimeter. Well, look, it's going to be better for what I do with the moon. I think it's going to be better than what's there now. Is it going to be close to what the competition has?
Nope.
But it's going to be better than anything Apple's done.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's better than anything they've done. I think, you know what? I think I'm just so disappointed that, Samsung's been doing 10 times optical. Huawei is, I think, 10 times optical. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why did? And the thing is, too, is it's not even a periscope zoom.
Yeah, that's right.
If you watch the thing, you'll see that it's not. I forget. I was probably chatting with you.
Yeah, it's pretty much is a periscope. It's the same idea, just that the light beam isn't a straight down. So the idea still is, use mirrors to lengthen the amount of light distance. It's just that instead of like a normal periscope where like one beam, like boom, boom, we're going to do zigzag. So we can even go, because if they didn't do zigzag, they wouldn't really been able to do as zoom as they want. And I'm thinking it's partially, at least for Apple, they said, well, we have a battery that's this size, we have this size. What can we squeeze in here?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. That's why I'm thinking next year, the rumor is next year we're going to have a size change.
Yeah, I think some of the Apple knockers in the groups that we're in.
Oh yeah,
I think it was Patrica was saying Apple's motto should be next year.
Yeah,
next year.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked at the whole thing and was a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest. The thing that really caught me was that gave me some sort of level of excitement, I guess, is where it was almost a throwaway line that the low light was 2 times better. And it brought me back to going from the 12 Pro Max to the 13 Pro Max, and I was undecided if I was going to do it because there wasn't enough of a jump for me on paper. And it was only that I went, oh, look, I've got the channel. I really need to keep up with the trending phones. And I went and bought the 13, based only on it was like 2.2 times better than the 12 or something like that it was.
Yeah.
And I went out and I took the photo and I was blown away. It was so impressive. And I thought, why on earth did you not really push this on your launch? Because it was just so much better. So I'm really hoping that with this, when they gave that throwaway line of 2 times better, I really hope it's a similar situation of going from the 14 Pro Max to the 15 Pro Max.
Yeah.
It will be so much better in low light. Because if it is, hey, look out, there'll be lots of astro photos coming your way in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Well, also I'm interested because I was able to pull up an old thing from Apple showing the specifications of the 14 Pro Max and pulled up the 15. The aperture is the same. Pretty much for all of them, they're all, the zoom, the millimeter, the aperture, that's all the same. So they haven't changed the aperture on anything. But so maybe their software or the chip that they're using. And also, hopefully, they make the HDR better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it will be. So I'm looking at the website again, and it's a tetraprism that they use for the 5 times optical zoom. So that to me it's kind of maybe like a periscope zoom, but not really, because it's like a fixed piece of glass that the light is bouncing back and forth in, like you said, Dave, in a zigzag pattern. But you know what? I mean, the cameras are going to be fantastic in this phone. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I don't want to be taken the wrong way here, and I'm sure, Shayne, you don't want to either, but we've both commented to each other before we come on here that we're kind of underwhelmed by this. I think it's maybe because we had higher expectations, and I wish those damn rumor mills would just stop. I wish they would just shut up and stop putting out rumors, because, we were hearing 6 times optical zoom. We were hearing 10 times optical zoom. We were hearing 48 megapixel sensors on all cameras and all this other stuff. And I just wish they would stop. And next year, I'm not even going to broadcast the rumors, because it's so disappointing when they don't come true. And, because so many of them make good sense, they make good sense when you hear them. And I don't know, but I think that's
just a sign of the times, though, Greg. It's clickbait, it's read bait, it's any of those things to get you excited to watch their content. That's what it is. Doesn't matter what platform you're on.
And I see it in other forms too. Like, I'm a Formula One fan. I see all these different channels on YouTube. They put headlines on there about Formula One, and I know right now they're full of crap, because that's not what's happening. And
it's the same thing with movies too. It's the same thing with movies or TV shows. Like, oh, this is the best thing ever. This is this, and this is this, and you go and watch it and think it was good.
Yeah, they always show the best parts in the preview.
Yeah. It's not something that's going to change my life, but it's good.
Yeah.
I've got to say, if you're a Formula One fan, I'm really surprised that you're underwhelmed by this, because like Formula One races, they start on a grid and they basically finish in the same space that they started in. And the iPhone is no different. It's basically the same as what we had before.
Well, now one thing
that's not altogether true in Formula One nowadays, though. I must say,
it's like
about 3 or 4 years ago, I would agree with you. But with the new cars they have, and the way they can race each other, there's quite a bit of passing going on in a race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. It is much better. But
I think the underwhelming part of the iPhones is that they're already incredibly good cameras. They are already like the duck's nuts as far as cameras go.
Yes, exactly.
And when they bring out something new and they say in their launch, like the word incredible 57 freaking times,
Oh,
you've,
I know.
you've really got to
Yeah,
deliver on something that's substantially better, I think.
I
But
think they can
I think
stop
it's,
saying too that it's the best they've ever done because no
I know.
hopefully.
kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding, it's going to be the best
Well,
they've ever done.
now I
Yeah.
did notice one difference here. So, and I know everyone poo-poos digital zoom. Okay.
Yep.
Let me make sure that I'm reading this. And I didn't. No, I was wrong. I was wrong. It was saying that um video can only do 9x digital zoom, but yeah, so you can do with the pro non max, you can do 15 like you can now, and with the new pro max, you can do digital up to 25.
Okay.
Hmm.
Even that
So,
might be interesting for moon photography, at least. It might
well,
be.
yeah.
We'll wait and
I
see.
mean, it's
Yeah.
not like 100 like Samsung can do, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
realistically, even with the Samsung, once you go past 30 times zoom, it turns a little bit to crud as well. Like the sweet spots around
yeah.
30.
well, I
So
mean, it
you
starts
never
to
know.
use the AI as well.
Oh, don't get me started. We'll be here all day.
That's a whole different
Yeah.
show.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to start on that. But also,
No.
I think the thing is, majority of people are not updating their phones every year.
Yes.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
100%.
even like mine's a 13, and Ruth, I got a 13 Pro Max. Ruth got a 13. We're not updating this year, mainly because we still have to pay on our installment. We don't want to put out $400 to pay off one phone.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're going to be updating next year on the 16. Now that's going to be a massive difference between a 13 and 16 for us. If
Yeah.
you have a
100%.
12, if you have a 12 right now, your mind will be blown
Yes.
by the 15. I mean, even
Oh
without
yeah.
seeing any, real pictures
I
or
mean,
average people doing it, you will be
yeah.
blown.
My mind was blown going from the 12 to the 14 Pro.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
um, so as far as other things that they've done with the camera system is in portrait mode, they now give you the opportunity to change focus after the shot.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. But the app
Mm-hmm.
Focus, Focos, has been doing that for like
Yeah.
years.
Well, that's
Um,
how Apple does it,
but
though.
yes, that's how they
Yeah.
do it, and
100%.
they bring out this feature and they make it sound like they invented it, and
Yeah.
that's another thing that ticks me off about them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, and I just saw an app. Where did I see it? It was an ad on Instagram of all places for an app that does that. You can change the basically the same as focus, except it's very simplified, where you can change the
Mm-hmm.
focus and the depth of field. And it was only like $3.99 or $4.99 for us here in Canada in the App Store. And I'm really thinking seriously about getting it to try it out and to see if it's as good as they show in their, their pictures and whatever in their App Store entry. Because Focus is as good as it is. It's got a lot more in it that doesn't really need to be there for people who just want to say change focus of a shot like this. For people who don't have the 15 Pro and they want to do this, then this app, I'm going to look it up again. This app might be the duck's nuts for that because it's a simple app. It does what you want it to do real quick, and then that's it. I don't think there's any other stuff in it that, like Focus has, I think it has the lighting and all this stuff that you could do. And, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's all fun to play with, but it's also at an expense. Whereas this app is a one-time buy, that's it, no subscription.
Yeah.
So
What was it called, Greg?
I have to look it up again, Shayne.
Okay.
I wish I'd have just bloody well bought it when I saw it.
You're starting to sound like an Australian, mate. I should
Mm-hmm.
have bloody well bought it.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, I wish the App Store would keep a history of your searches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
When I
I'll
finished
find it.
watching
Well,
the, the launch this morning, Sarah says, "You say, how was it?" And I said, "Oh, it was incredible." And she says, and I said, "I'm going to have to download the live stream and then pull out all of the Incredibles to like stream them all to put it into a video."
Yeah.
And she said, "That's an Australian drinking game right there. You could watch it. And every
yeah.
time that they say incredible, you've got to have a drink." I'm like, "That's the duck's nuts." I'm putting it in the video.
You will have so many drunk viewers.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh, so
And
Yeah.
I kept on
I
I'll
would
say,
have
they kept
to
on saying, like, "It's the best one. It's the best one we've ever done."
yeah.
And
I,
it's like,
I would
well,
have to
you're
eat
not
a
going to
piece of
come out and say,
chocolate
"Oh,
or
it's really
something.
not." Yeah, that's right.
No real difference. No real difference.
Uh,
Well,
You've got a sugar
if
high.
I ate a piece of chocolate every time you put Incredible on there, I would probably gain about 20 pounds.
now I'll say this though. The other thing that they mentioned, which is kind of nice, if you take a photo, not portrait mode,
Mhm.
but it detects a person or a dog or a cat, you can
Yeah,
do portrait mode after the fact.
yeah, that was pretty clever.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That's a neat little feature. That's a neat little feature.
Mm, yeah,
So
I agree.
it kind of
Oh,
makes me think that are
in
we
the
going to
Photos app, yeah, in the Photos
yeah
app later,
yeah
yeah.
yeah. So that kind of makes me think: are we getting rid of portrait mode in a year or two, and you'll just take a photo, and then it can just deal with the focusing difference because it'll have everything there with the machine learning and everything else. Which I know there's apps that'll do it, but you won't have to tweak it. It'll just be hit the button,
Yeah,
boom, portrait mode.
And that works the
I think
same on
you're
the
onto
15
something
as
there.
well.
Yeah,
It works on the
I
15 as
reckon you're
well.
on something
Yeah.
there. That's very, very typical of Apple doing that. Like when you think about the way the camera system works on the iPhone compared to, say, the Samsung or any other Android, you've got all the manual stuff that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying there is taking, like, futuring that phone with taking portrait mode out. You're probably on the money, I'd say. I think it'll turn easier, and then later on, after you've taken the photo, you can change it to a portrait mode. I reckon you're
Yeah.
onto something there, Dave.
Yeah. And
This way
again,
they can introduce it without it looking too bad. Also,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if it doesn't work out.
that is also a feature in Focus, is that you can take
Mm-hmm.
a non-portrait image and turn it into one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
Ooh,
done that with some pictures, and it actually works out really well in that app. So,
yep. Yep, I reckon that's where they're heading. Good call.
and so okay, so as far as video goes,
Right.
they've made cinematic mode automatic focusing, like on, say, a close object, and then the example I saw was a soccer ball sitting there, and the guy kicks it, and it focused on the soccer ball, but then as soon as it was kicked, it focused on the people in the background, and it did it rather quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that was in the 15 Pro. I'm not sure how.
That should be either. That really should be either. I'm thinking.
Well, I have to wonder because like I'm looking
That's
on
true.
the website.
That may be some of the
Like it
difference
may,
between the two chips.
well, yeah, and also the 3 cameras versus the 2, right?
Right.
Might have something
Right.
to
And
do
the
with it.
LiDAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
Yes,
probably help too.
I think cinematic mode. Can Ruth do it on her phone?
Yes, she can.
Okay.
Yes, she can.
All right. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I the first time I remember playing with it is before we ordered our phones 2 years ago at the same time, but my Max took longer, so we only had her new phone.
All right. Oh yes, I remember you did tell me that one time. Yeah. Yeah, you were playing around with it. Okay. Well, I think as far as camera related stuff goes, I think we've pretty much covered most of it, if not all of it.
But let me
Because there wasn't that much.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Overall, in general terms of the new design, anything else that caught your attention?
I like the idea of this button. I was a little bit
Yeah.
iffy about it when I first heard about it, but now that I've seen how it's used, and it's not going to be an accidental thing all the time, like turning your phone to silent, you're going to feel the haptic.
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea,
Well, they
and the
made a
fact
point
that
of
you can
saying,
customize it. I
yeah,
think it's
they
good.
made a point of saying that you have to press and hold it to go from silent
Yeah,
to whatever, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I would imagine if you just pressed it and let go, well, then maybe that will launch the camera, the flashlight,
Mm.
I'm thinking you have to choose only, it only gives you one thing to do.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that's the
um,
case too.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Well, I can know what
But
though.
the nice thing too is that if you want to access shortcuts with it, that kind of expands that into more options.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the shortcut,
Mm.
you can do more things. The other
Yeah.
thing I think that'll impact, I hate to say average people, normal people, whatever. The 48 megapixel being able to do in the high in HEIF instead
Hmm.
of RAW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because a lot of people don't shoot in RAW, in RAW or Pro RAW.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
if they can do it in HEIF, and for the Pro, they said that you can. I think the default in the Pro now. Let me see what it says. I want to make sure I'm speaking right. Okay. That's the zoom. That's the action. Where are we at? Oh, zoom in. Oh yeah, zoom in on the cameras. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you said you can. You'll combines the best pixels from a super high resolution image with another one that's optimized for light. So basically, they say they can somehow make it where you can you automatically get 24 megapixel photos
Yeah.
from the
Yep.
48 megapixel camera from the main camera.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see if you select, if there's a way to select that, or you can go with like an extra resolution if that actually makes a difference on what it looks like.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be settings in the camera, like in
Yeah.
the settings app under camera.
Yeah.
Excuse me, where that'll
Yeah.
be, selectable. But you know what? I've been taking 48 megapixel HEIF, I guess they called it on the thing there,
Yeah.
images with reflex for months now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
it's pretty cool because um if you want to get a full res picture like that without taking up all the space, I mean, it's not pro raw, so you're kind of limited with your editing. But I mean, good grief, like you said earlier, Shayne, these cameras are darn good to begin with,
Yeah.
and they got the dynamic range and everything else that's capable without going pro raw is pretty good.
Mm.
So
Mm.
all you got to do is make sure you don't overexpose, and bang, you got a workable file easily, even if it's not pro raw.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
now they did
Mm.
mention the one other thing they didn't mention. If I have the website up with the additional details here, that and this would make a little difference for me. Portraits can be live photos now.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
It says
dude,
Why
you are
yeah.
would you
going to
want
go
that?
nuts.
It says next generation portraits, the photonic engine, zero shutter lag, 2 times better low light performance for the blah blah blah. Now portraits can be low light too. In portrait mode, you can now use continuous zoom to move in nice and close. So if we no longer have to be 8 feet away, like you are currently, or however long, converted into the measurement that the rest of the world uses,
Mhm.
where you don't have to move further away or move here. If it actually can handle that, that would be nice too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they've got in the 14 Pro, they've got night mode portraits
Mm-hmm.
built into
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
but you can't zoom in that close like you're talking there.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually comes to pace. that
Now,
actually works
if
out
you
or
ever
not.
meet up with someone that has the 15 Pro, and if you get your hands on it, I feel sorry for them because you're going to be trying out this live portrait thing, and you're not going to want to give it back.
Well, like I said, especially for animal pictures, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that'll make sense. So what did you think about was it 10% lighter or something?
Oh, with the titanium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you guys put covers on your phones?
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
so that makes it yeah. Well, I mean, with titanium or not titanium, it would be the same weight. It would make the big difference there. So,
Sure.
just if you could make it a little bit lighter would be nice. Like I said, when I pick up mine, I pick up Ruth's. She has like I said, she has the 13, smaller 13 non-pro. So hers is aluminum and smaller, but her phone feels like nothing. And she has a case on it compared when I pick mine up.
Yeah.
With the
I'm very much
stainless.
the same with Sarah's one. Yeah.
It's like, thump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so light. This would be so nice. This would be so nice to have on my arm when I'm running. This much lighter one versus this massive slab I have on my arm when I'm running.
So why don't you just use a watch when you're running?
Because I probably could download podcasts and stuff while I'm running to the watch and listen to it off of there, but it's just easier. Also, in case anything happens, I have my phone with me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, it's not a cellular watch.
Yeah, it's not a cellular watch, but even if it wasn't, I still like taking pictures on the runs.
Yep.
Especially the races. Like, okay, like a couple of races that go like through downtown Pittsburgh and over some bridges, just whipping the phone out, taking a picture in a location that I'm not used to, or
look at that one, Dave, that you got on the bridge that you wouldn't have normally gotten if it wasn't for being in a run.
True.
Because it wouldn't have been closed to traffic, right?
Right.
So there's that, and as far as the finish goes, like the titanium finish and whatnot, I said to Shayne and the guys in our Bloody Legends iMessage chat, I said I could have that look on mine if I take the cover off for a month.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite.
It does look nice,
much, but
I think it really does look nice. But it's I don't know. It's just by the time you put a cover on it, you don't see most of that.
No, not really.
No, and they're saying that you'll notice the weight difference right away as soon as you pick it up. So I mean, it must be considerably light because I mean my 14 Pro Max is kind of heavy, in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
And did you notice the other thing they said about cases? Is they're going to phase out the leather cases?
Right.
Yeah, I was literally just looking at that right now as we're talking, and there's no leather cases there.
Nope.
The 15. It's this.
Nope.
It's
and not even
woven.
the Hermes, watch bands. They're no longer leather.
Yeah.
And same thing with Nike. They redid the for the watch bands. They rechanged those, so they're using more recycled material.
Yep. See, they don't want to use leather because they think that cows are wildlife, apparently.
Well, it's actually,
they
I
showed
think,
that photo.
Yeah. Well, and also they're also talking about the that's the easiest way to make yourself carbon neutral.
Yeah.
Because the amount of carbon it takes for raising a cow for leather versus others. And you know what? Honestly, here's the thing. I actually believe, at least on Tim Cook, I don't think it's BS on him. I think he really believes it.
Yep.
This isn't just marketing push for him.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit skeptical about all of that now. I've been reading this book. What's it called? Red Cobalt or something. It's called Cobalt Red is what it's called. It's all about the mining that happens for cobalt, and you need the cobalt for the lithium batteries.
Yeah,
and
it's horrible.
the stories are just horrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on one hand, you go, we're going to plant a tree, but on the other hand, you've got all these slave children mining this stuff. It's like you got to find a solution to this
Well,
stuff.
no,
That's
that's
just,
why they
Yeah,
said that's why they said that one of their things are going for 100% recycled material, and that's why, like, at least in the US, and especially for cars, for car batteries,
Yep.
they're a lot of one of the things that was passed last year was big into starting to invest into recycling batteries. And because once you pull all that stuff out, you can use it again. And, there's no limited amount of recycling you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're looking, you're saying, well, that's horrible, but this is also horrible. But we can work on this part, and I hate to say it, but if you look at, there was it was a book called Out of the Furnace that was about the steel production. It was in Pittsburgh, but it was a kind of historical fiction from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and how the people were just treated like crap. And were they adults? They weren't little kids, but there was no go to school through grade 12, go to school till you're old enough you can work in the mills.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then you're 13, 14, you're strong enough and good enough, you're going off to the mills to work 12-hour days, 6 days in a row.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it was crap.
Yeah. Yep.
But, there's a couple, like I said, if you have the 14, do you need the 15? Probably not.
I would say no.
No.
The third, I would even say the 13's borderline.
Yeah. In saying that, I have said that for, I think, every iPhone since.
Well, I would say
11, I would say
that was for most people, not you.
Yeah. But what I mean is, like, I have said, like, if you got an 11, would you go to a 12? Nah. If you got a 12, would you get? Nah. If you got a nah. But now I go, if you got a 12, would you go to the 15? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, I think you're on the money. What do you think about the colors of the Pro Series? I reckon they are awesome.
I like the blue.
I like all of them now. I think they look just fantastic. I reckon they call it
blue titanium, natural titanium.
Yeah. They have natural
and black titanium.
white titanium.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the blue titanium wallpaper on my iPhone already because I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it really does. I think they look sensational. As we were sitting here talking, I was looking at those cases, looking for leather cases to see if it was there or not, and I'm like, okay, so these fine woven cases, how good's that going to look with this color combo and this color combo and this color combo? And I'm like, Shayne, pay attention, you're on a podcast.
To be honest, though, I really wish, and I know they're doing the colors for whatever reason, I wish they would give you the 15 colors in the Pro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The brighter ones.
The brighter ones. The ones that don't look as, it's just, I don't know. It seems like, okay, like maybe basically the rose pink, the yellow, the green, and then the lighter blue. It's a little pastel-y this year. But
yeah.
Product red would look good.
I think it would, yeah.
So that would be the one nice thing. But like I have a clear case on my phone. So I don't really, okay. You can actually see the color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the fine woven case with MagSafe, $60. US.
Yeah, I was just going to say over here, they're $100 for a case, $99. Yeah. And the actual phone, So to get to for me to replace the phone that I have now,
Okay.
I'm just going through there. It's
Okay.
like
So
two and a half grand.
which one are you doing?
It would be the I would have liked to have gone with a higher storage because I run out of mine a fair bit. I
Right.
record a lot of video on mine. So a lot of the B-roll and stuff I do on all the channels is usually with the iPhone.
Now,
So
this will make a difference for you because you can record directly to an external hard drive.
can you do it to an external hard
Yes.
drive? I didn't.
Yes,
Yep.
with the Pro Max. With the Pro Max, you can now go, or the Pro, I think, in general, but you can record directly with that USB-C to an external hard drive.
I missed that. I thought it was just to a Mac.
No,
I saw that with the photos. Oh,
That's going to be a game
interesting.
changer for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You wait until you watch all these different companies now are going to bring out hard drives that'll sit on the back of your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, MagSafe.
Yeah, MagSafe hard drive.
Yeah.
That's interesting because do you remember I don't know any phones that do it now, but I remember Android phones were a lot of different companies had like SD cards that you could put into the phone. You could take them in and out. It was just like a regular camera.
Mm-hmm.
And you could load them up with music and stuff and then put them into your phone and then play that music from your phone from that SD card. So this is sort of heading back that way a little bit. If you get like a small solid state drive that can go, because they're pretty small now, and put them into a phone case or something. I can see that happening in the not too distant future.
Yeah, this is actually from 9 to 5 Mac. So if I'm wrong, they're wrong. But I'm giving my sources. Well, first of all, you'll need to, because the cord that comes with it, the charging cord is not it's only USB 2. You need to get a USB 3 cord. So besides that, users can now shoot ProRes video directly to an SSD. They said this is similar to what dedicated camera manufacturers have done, similar with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema lineup it can do. So that is like my friend Sorg, who uses the iPhone for his shooting of wrestling. That's his job. And other things he does as videography. That's a seller for him right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, you saying that he shoots video of wrestling with his phone? That's his job?
Yeah. He's a videographer, and one of the things he does is wrestling. Now he has a better video camera per se for a lot of the stuff because you need the zoom and everything. But for like a lot of the B-roll, the interviews, he'll use his phone.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he was out there recording all this stuff just with his phone.
Not all of it, but a lot of it.
That's really impressive.
No, a lot of it he does use his phone though. And same thing for like where I work at SAE, where you have like the Baja event and the student formula, or Formula SAE. He's the videographer for that. So they have their full blown video and cameras.
Gotcha.
But he'll also use the iPhone for things like, we'll put the phone down here as the Baja cars kind of go over the jump here.
Yeah, gotcha.
So we can get a bit. But I mean, he still does it. But if he can shoot a Pro Raw, or not Pro Raw, if he can do the ProRes, if he can shoot in ProRes, match it up to his other thing, So he uses he's using his phone a lot more than he used to for principal photography.
Yep.
Because he can do things with it you otherwise can't.
For a minute there, I thought it was all going to be from the phone. I thought that's really impressive. And then I was thinking about, congratulations, by the way, on your 100th anniversary.
Thank you.
100th episode anniversary. Because when I was listening to it, and that was a pisser. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed listening to that.
It was a lot of fun to do too.
But when these guys were talking about shooting weddings with their iPhone, that's what I was thinking of as you were telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
as you were telling me about this videographer, I thought That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that, there you go. Shameless plug for your own podcast on your
There
own
you go.
podcast.
Yeah.
On our
Go listen
podcast.
to it.
And
Yeah.
you know, when I was doing the edit last night, I realized that I made a very, very bad mistake.
Oh,
And that what that was I didn't say thank you to all the people who have provided, coupon codes and all that stuff for the things that we're giving away. And Shayne, you're obviously one of them. So thank you again.
most
Hey,
definitely.
don't stress because
But
you didn't say
should
thank
have.
you. I've already deleted the code. You can't get it now.
Yeah.
But I should have, I should have taken a minute to do that at the end of the episode, and I just totally forgot. I think I was all caught up in the fact that all the guys were together, and we were, and I was really worried that Mark would cuss, and he did let out one little one, and I was able to cut it off without it being noticeable, so that was okay. But no, it was a blast. It was a good time. And
I just figured that's why you don't invite me on your podcast more often because of that hole underneath my nose and what comes out of it.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
Bloody oath, mate.
I've got a in GarageBand where I do the edit. I've got a little track that says beep, and I can put that beep anywhere I want.
Today we've got Shayne Mostyn joining us. Hey, beep, 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 beep,
Yeah,
beep,
beep,
beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, guys, beep, 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 five, beep, beep, cat, beep, beep.
G'day, beep.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I think on that note, guys, I think we'll tie it off here.
Before Shayne says something.
Before we have to use the beep.
Yeah. Because I'm going to
So you got to go to work.
File for this on my phone, and I don't think anybody from work listens to this anyway, so I'm going to hopefully have it thrown together real quick and uploaded it while I'm at work tonight. It shouldn't be a problem.
I say it's dinner time for me, so.
Yeah, and thank you, Dave, for coming on right after work, like you just barely got home.
Yep.
And Shayne for getting up a little earlier and suffering through the keynote at those early hours. Yeah. And
it was incredible.
Yeah.
Just don't mess with Mother Nature.
Oh my God.
That was the dumbest thing.
You just know that somewhere in Apple, that around a boardroom table, someone came up with this idea, and there was like 7 or 8 people in that room that went, "That's a stupid idea," but they didn't want to say anything. And
probably because Tim Cook probably said it was a good idea.
Yeah, true.
Because he was in it.
Yeah. Sure, boss. Yeah, whatever, boss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, Tim. That's a great idea, Tim. Roll eye roll.
It's like Christmas bonuses are getting worked out now. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, Shayne, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Kerbin's Road in Little Old Kahuna, but if you want to see me online, you can see me on YouTube at Shayne Mostyn Mobile Photography. I think I'm Shayne Mostyn pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Shayne Mostyn. My parents must have done a lot of drugs before they invented me, and a lot of Y's in my name.
Yeah, well, there's always been a link to the channel in the show notes, so it'll be there. And
appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. And Dave?
Yep. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Prof Pod, except for TikTok, where I'm Prof Pod PGH.
Alrighty. And of course, there's links to our social presences in the show notes, as there is every week. And you can find me on I said this last night, like tried to use the US version about me /Macmillan.
It sounds as bad as when you're trying to do an Aussie one.
Yeah, I know, right? I should just stop. I should just stick to being Canadian.
Hey, sorry.
Sorry,
Gotta go out and get some Timbits, eh?
Oh, Dave, that sounds
Somewhat.
dangerously close to Canadian. Anyway, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. And hopefully this will be some kind of an enlightenment for people who are looking at the 15 and the 15 Pro.
Yeah.
Don't always take what we say to the bank, but obviously just take a look at them, do your research on them, and if you're going to get them, by all means, show us some pictures in the Facebook groups.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got the Bloody Legends group for Shayne, and you got the iPhoneography podcast group for us, and there's a few other ones. There's links in the show notes for a few of them that we're in. So
Yep.
and all right, well, I guess we'll see everybody in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Have a great one, everyone.